Palam Langayate Girim Yatripatmaham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Paramananda Madhavam. So again, I'm requesting everyone, if you would like, you can, or you don't have to, but it will help you. If you can, in meditative mood, collect some flowers through your subtle body right now. Collect the best flower available in this world, in your world, and offer the flower to your Guru Dev. If you can imagine, you can hold even making a garland and putting it on his neck. And then we'll go to Guru Parampara, Prabhupada, and all the way to Radha Krishna and Panchatattva, and then Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra also a person. Krishna is most merciful. Holy name is more merciful than, than the deity. Because deity, there is a rules, regulation, and particular time you can serve, not all the time. Holy name, you can serve anytime, anywhere, no restriction. It's the most merciful. So you please garland the holy name also, a beautiful form of the Lord. So we begin with this. Om Ajnanatimidandasa Kenanjana Salakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namah Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishnam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam Andeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Pada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nityancha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Ancha kalpa taruvesya kripa sindhu payevacha patitanam pavanebho vaishnavebho namo namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Is Mother Kirtida Kumari Devi Dasi available to read the first verse?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And followed by Baman Dev Prabhu, who also didn't read. And I need one more volunteer, whoever did not read so far.
I will read, Prabhu.
Okay, you can do that, Sattva Devata Prabhu, after Bamandev.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
Mam hi partha vyapashritya yepi syu papayonaya striyo vaishyas tata shudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Shudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination.
Okay, one second, Mata.
Sure.
So I would like everybody to focus on this verse. This is one of the, maybe not in India, but rest of the world, some controversial discussion takes place on that verse. But Prabhupada gave a very clear understanding, and we should follow that. What I'm trying to say, that in Varnashram system, higher Varna or higher caste, you can say, are more suitable for practicing particular dharma, but not devotional service. I want to make it very clear. Everybody understand my way of expressing? When you are born in a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya, each of them has their duty with their particular caste. You are not born with ashram. Brahmachari, sannyasi, you are not born with. That you have to adapt it under Guru. But you are born with Varna. Everybody is born with a nature, particular nature, whether Brahmanical nature, Kshatriya nature, Vaishya nature, Sudra nature, you are born. Nothing you can do about it. Whether you planned or not, that you have to go back last life what you did. But at least when you are born, a particular family, these things are arranged. So just accept it. Okay, I'm born as a Sudra, I'm born as a Brahman. So then you have a particular dharma or duty. If you're a Brahmana, you act like a teacher of the society. If you are a Sudra, you have to serve everybody. If you are a Vaishya, you're supposed to maintain everyone. There are duties every person that born as a human. But to do bhakti, there is no pre-qualification. Anybody can do bhakti. Everybody understand that point? You are not born with a quality to do bhakti. Everybody has a right to do bhakti. So this is the verse says. It's not that the women are less or something. No, verse does not say that. But it can be drawn by not properly looking into it. So I'm going to say again, in Varnashram system, higher Varna are suitable for practicing particular duty. Like Arjuna born as a Kshatriya, he has to fight. He cannot do any other. Even he cannot act like a Brahmana. Even if he goes to jungle, there will be some tiger attack and he will start fighting. That was the point of Krishna. Lord Krishna told him that Savavajena Kuntaya Nibaddhasena Karmana. 1860, you can look at that verse. And Savavajena Kuntaya Nibaddhasena Karmana Kartum Nechusi Janmahat Karishyasi Avashopitat. What you are born with it, Haribol, you like or you don't like, that's what you get. If you can accept it, acknowledge it, and be responsible, you will win the game. If you hate your life, if you don't like your life, whatever it is, you are in a wrong way proceeding. Accept it gladly. This is what, because everything is happening in my life. Not that I like my life, everything happened, but this is what result of my own activity from previous life. This life, Krishna is not going to let go what I am born to experience without experiencing. But Krishna can minimize. Yes, he can minimize if we take shelter of him. So there is nothing defect in anyone to do bhakti, but there is a defect in varnashram system. Everybody got it, right? That you may not be eligible if you are a Sudra. You know the Ram story when a Sudra was trying to act like a Brahmana and Lord Ram was ready to kill. But he was very smart. He took shelter of Hanumanji. And then when Ram went to kill him, that Hanumanji was standing on his way. Lord Ram says, Hanumanji, what are you doing? You have to step aside. This person born in a Sudra and he's supposed to act as a Sudra is trying to cheat the system of this etiquette. He's trying to imitate the Brahmana. I'm going to punish him. Then Hanumanji said, Prabhu, you can do it over my dead body because I gave him shelter. So those who come to Bhakti Path, they take shelter of the Lord, Guru, and shelter. You are above. You are not actually fit to consider a Varnashram student. You are, Vaishnava is above. But initiation doesn't mean you are immediately above. You have to act on it. Initiation is a event of purification. So here this verse, Mataji going to read the purport, that for devotional service there is no disqualification. Everybody is eligible. Bhakti does not recognize such discrimination. But as a Varnashram, they can, there is a discrimination. But as for Bhakti, you are above and anybody can be elevated if they practice devotional service. Okay, Mata, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Perfect. It is clearly declared here by the Supreme Lord that in devotional service there is no distinction between the lower and higher classes of people. In the material conception of life, there are such divisions, but for a person engaged in transcendental devotional service to the Lord, there are not. Everyone is eligible for the supreme destination. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.18, it is stated that even the lowest, who are called Chandalas, dog eaters, can be purified by association with a pure devotee. Therefore, devotional service and the guidance of a pure devotee are so strong that there is no discrimination between the lower and higher classes of men. Anyone can take to it. The most simple man taking shelter of the pure devotee can be purified by proper guidance. According to the different modes of material nature, men are classified in the mode of goodness, Brahmanas, the mode of passion, Kshatriyas or administrators, the mixed modes of passion and ignorance, Vaishyas or merchants, and the mode of ignorance, Shudras or workers. Those lower than them are called Chandalas, and they are born in sinful families. Generally, the association of those born in sinful families is not accepted by the higher classes. But the process of devotional service is so strong that the pure devotee of the Supreme Lord can enable people of all the lower classes to attain the highest perfection of life. This is possible only when one takes shelter of Krishna. As indicated here by the word Vyapashritya, one has to take shelter completely of Krishna. Then one can become much greater than great jnanis and yogis.
Very good. It's very funny. I remember a story. I won't say the name because you may meet him. He's a wonderful devotee. So there was a nice discussion that how we divide the varnashram by the quality of the modes that you are born with and you grow up with. Not only birth, but you also grow up with. Whether you're contaminated by ignorance or passion or goodness, and you mold your life. So the discussion went on, and we said that those who are in Tamagun, they are Rakshashi mentality. They're man-eater. They literally eat man. And they're not considered they can come to Brahmanical stage, ever. It's impossible. Those who are Kshatriya, they are always envious, jealous, and they are trying to control over others, lord over others. So this explanation was going on, and he said, Bhakti is so wonderful. So there was a head pujari of our temple, one of our big temple in Africa. He's also Blackberry African. I won't say the name because he's a wonderful devotee. If you ever see him, you'll see like surprise. He said before he came, he ate the flesh of his grandfather. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? In their culture, till today, in that part of Africa, that if you are over 80, they put a hook on the back and he make a circle until he's dead. Then all the relative comes and take part of his body and eat. Of course, they roast it, I think, something. Anyway, you don't need to know all details about how they eat. But point to us, he said, I ate my grandfather, so I come from a Rakshasa family. But if you see the deity dressing, the service he does, he's like a first-class Brahmana. It's unbelievable how Prabhupada actually transformed those low quality of us, within us, into the highest attractive quality. So we appreciate Srila Prabhupada's introducing this. And right now, there are few temples in Africa. There's just so many African devotees are so serious in this Krishna consciousness. So I appreciate that. Okay, this verse, we're going to talk just a little bit, that Krishna says, Mam hi partha, those who take shelter of me, Vyapashrita, Ashrita. Ashrita means shelter. So those who take shelter of me, who? Question come, who? Jeopi papo junayo. If there's sinful birth, Jonayo means from the womb. Striya, Vaishya, Tatha Sudra. Example, Papajoni is a woman, mercantile community, general laborers, Sudras. Teopi Janti Paramgati, even they can attain supreme destination. Actually, this verse is demonstrating Lord's mercy. But for many people, this verse demonstrates how Bhagavad Gita is discriminatory. Can you see that? It can be drawn in either way. If it considers women and lower class to be sinful, I mean, maybe you all are mothers transcendental, you don't look at that way, but we have faced in America, some women actually challenge why God would say like this, because they're misunderstanding. So actually, we have to understand things from proper cultural context. Ultimately, any soul who gets human body is extremely fortunate, first of all, whether it's a man or woman, doesn't matter. Everyone can get chance of spiritual perfection. Within human form, also based on suitability of practice of spirituality, there are gradation. And this is based on quality and not by birth. Please remember that. Brahmanas are ready to live life which are more focused on Brahman, which is involving means simplicity, austerity. In 18th chapter, you will see that. Samadama tapot skanti arjama vevacha jnana vijnana mastikam brahma karma sabhavajam. Those are the qualities. When you come to 18th chapter, it will be explained, the Brahmana's quality. These attributes are more suitable for spiritual realization. That's why it is higher. It is not by last name. And you know, funny thing, I'm being realistic. One Indian Mataji, whose husband was a big army officer from India. And in America, I was conducting a study group many years back, maybe 12 years, 13 years back. And she comes from a very high-class Brahmana family. Her husband was a big army officer for Indian government. So they came to visit because their daughter goes to UF here, university. So I asked She came to the class. I asked the this Mataji, I said, Mataji, if somebody's last name, no, I said, if somebody's last name is Bhattacharya, Brahmana, Sharma, but he eats meat, but he is a Brahmana by last name, can you wash his feet and drink some water? Tell me the truth, what do you feel? You are raised, even though you come from a very educated family, but you are raised in a culture where sometimes is mixed, not clearly understood. I just wanted to verify. Can you tell me? She said, yeah, I can do that. I said, how about an American who grow up with a beef eating cows, but then all of a sudden he joined and he gave up everything and he became so strict and he's chanting all the time. Can you wash his feet and drink? Can you guess what she said?
No.
No, very good. She said no. I said, this is the problem. This is real. This exists all over the world, this kind of sentimentalism. Somebody's last name is Brahmana, but he's eating meat. You don't mind of washing his feet and drink. Because he Indian Bari and he has a last name Sharma or whatever, Bhattacharya. But some American last name, grow up as a beef eater, but he gave up everything. He surrendered to Krishna. He's chanting, full-time devotee. His washed feet? No, I cannot do that. This is called sentimentalism. Krishna did not approve this. Try to understand. This Krishna consciousness, God consciousness is scientific, is a science. It is not whimsical or sentimental or judgmental. I personally tested this. And of course, at the end, it was very interesting. She lives in Lucknow and they sent me a letter with some donation. And she said, we're trying to understand that class. And it was so nice. So she bought books, she became a life member and she's now chanting. So it's very nice, changing. She's changing. But common people, Brahman born, they cannot imagine a beef eater can be completely surrendered soul. On the other hand, those who are not Brahman, who are not ready to regulate themselves, much they are considered Sudras. And they are not ready to harmonize themselves for spiritual advancement. I want everybody to remember one thing, that what I understood, Brahmana means, not by last name, Brahmana means closest to God. Anybody is closer to God is called Brahmana. And I can give you a sloka to back up that, why I believe that. Sudra means those who are farthest. They have no interest to God, whether they are atheist or whatever it is, they are called Sudra to me. According to the definition, what I understand Krishna is trying to reveal. And in between you can put Vaishya and Kshatriya. So within Varnashram, higher castes are considered more qualified for spiritual advancement than lower caste, which is by quality. I'm repeating that, which is by quality, not by birth. Please remember that, not by birth. Because in my childhood also, I remember there was a discussion why your cousin married to the low class person. Of course, those days I have no idea what, the auntie they are talking about. But now I look at back, wow, this is horrible. You judge a person by last name. It's a really horrible. It's a very bad system because they are not educated in spiritual science. Again, males are more analytical. Well, let's see.
Prabhu.
So this is the case for karma and gyan, but this is not the case for bhakti. This is my clear division. Karma kanda focuses on dharma, artha, kama. Jnana focuses on moksha. But bhakti, we're talking bhakti. In bhakti is largely based on relationship of love. From heart, one can offer love. So bhakti can elevate everyone. So let's see. Again, males are more analytical. You can see, because I have also male body. More philosophical. In female body, the bodily identification is much greater than in male body. That is general. When soul has done more punya, gets male body. That's how the Shastra says. So the point is, we all have different starting point in life. Denying that will simply make ourselves blind. The male and female body are different. The starting points are different. That is not discrimination, but acknowledgement of reality. I remember one talk show lady, anyway, I won't say her name because you may know her. She's still probably radio talk show in America. And so I said, you know, why you're saying that in Hindu culture something is, I'm not a Hindu, I'm a Hare Krishna person, but there is an eternal difference between male and female. Why you're saying they're all same? And the reason you're giving is not really useful. I said, look, I am a married man. We have intimacy. My wife is pregnant. She's carrying the baby. I'm not. Women get PMS, men don't get. Why you think that both are same body? Both are not same body. God has created wonderful, each person individual. Respect that. This is a big issue in America too. Maybe it's not for you where you are, which is good. But we should be aware that this sloka Krishna gave, Krishna knows the best how to explain, what to explain. So, but the process is, bhakti is so powerful, Prabhupada is pointing, so potent, so fast, that once we start off, the starting point does not matter. That is what Krishna is emphasizing here. You can look at Draupadi's life. Was Draupadi, when Yudhishthira Maharaj was asked that Durvasa is coming for prasadam, lunch, with 10,000 followers, what did Yudhishthira Maharaj say to Bhima? He said, we are most fortunate that we have a direct connection with the Lord through our beloved wife Draupadi. Even Pandavas, they respected Draupadi's connection with Krishna was higher than their own connection. So it is not a question of man or woman. It is a question of your connection with Krishna. That is required. That is the purpose of human life, not male body, female body. So here Krishna's point is not supporting discrimination, but teaching a process that will end discrimination. Even, I'm sorry, just making a little joke. Not joke, it's a true story. Sanatana Goswami Pad writes in Dasami Tippani. One time Nanda Maharaj was asking to Mother Yashoda, I think he loves you more. Mother Yashoda said, no, he loves you more. So let's see. So they had a big hall room. So the Krishna who spoke this verse, he also demonstrated. So Mother Yashoda is sitting purposely in other one corner and Nanda Baba is another corner. So they said, your parents calling you, you have to go. So Krishna went, is a big hall room, and he sees the mother is one corner, father is another corner. So he ran towards his father. As he went nearby, he ran back to his mother and sat on her lap. So Krishna proved he loves his father, but loves mother more. So that because his relationship, he loves his mother more. That doesn't mean Nanda Baba is like sad, oh, I'm a male body, father less. No. He knows Mother Yashoda's love supersedes his love. There's nothing wrong. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in Kunti Maharani's prayers that women are more inclined towards devotion, more faithful. Prabhupada said that. Women, and believe me, Prabhus, I don't mean to like put anybody down. In our temple, I see the mothers are more. If Prabhupada did not introduce the Matajis to dress the deities, we would have a doubt that we would have a everyday dress changes. We have 3 altars, big altars. 90% everyday deity dresser is all mothers. And we are eternally indebted to Prabhupada to introduce. Prabhupada did a revolutionary that no Acharya ever did something like this. That's why movement is moving, because Prabhupada did not change the principle. You have to understand that. Prabhupada never changed the principle. Application he changed. Principle is intact. And Prabhupada wrote, the woman can accept this process more easily, he said in that purport. Process of bhakti, channelized emotion, and women are more emotional. I'm sure all the men will agree with me, which will direct them towards bhakti easily, faster than men. Now we are going to read. This vast discussion is there. Prabhupada gave actually very nice lecture on it. Okay. Next sloka is 33. And that sloka we are going to focus while Bhamandev Prabhu, I hope he's there. I don't see him today. Bhamandev Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, but I can only listen. I'm sorry, I'm traveling home.
Oh, you're traveling. Okay.
Still
Prabhu.
having some work to do.
Okay.
Yes, but I can hear.
That will be fine, Prabhu. Thank you so much. You keep on listening. That will be fine. Satyadevata
Yes.
Prabhu, you didn't read, right? You can read 33. So everybody, you can look at on 33. Krishna encourages Arjuna by saying, anybody, anywhere can be elevated. Then why can't you? It's like he's pointing out to Arjuna in this sloka. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajashraya tada anityam ashukam lokam imam prapya bhajashva mam. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. How much more this is so of the righteous brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Purport. In this material world, there are classifications of people, but after all, this world is not a happy place for anyone. It is clearly stated here, Anityam Asukam Lokam. This world is temporary and full of miseries, not habitable for any sane gentleman. This world is declared by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be temporary and full of miseries. Some philosophers, especially Mayavadi, say that this world is false, but we can understand from Bhagavad Gita that world is not false, it is temporary. There is a difference between temporary and false. This world is temporary, but there is another world which is eternal. This world is miserable, but the other world is eternal and blissful. Arjuna was born in a saintly, loyal family. To him also the Lord says, take to my devotional service and come quickly back to Godhead, back home. No one should remain in this temporary world, full as it is with miseries. Everyone should attach himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that he can be eternally happy. The devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only process by which all problems of all classes of men can be solved. Everyone should therefore take to Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect. Hare Krishna.
Yesterday, someone said that should we focus on service more than going back home? Well, Prabhupada is mentioning here that no one should remain in this temporary world. So we should focus also to go back home. Service and go back home, both. Now here, The word mentioned, even those who are low born can be elevated. Then Krishna says here, Kim Punar, how much that is likely for you, for those having favorable starting point. Brahmana Punna Bhakta Rajasya Tatha. So Krishna is telling Arjuna emphatically that practice bhakti. Anittam Asukam Lokam. Said the same in 18.15, if you remember. Dukkhalayam Ashashyatam. We use that randomly. Here same point, Asukam Anittam. Satta Devata Prabhu just read Asattam Asukam. This world is these two main principle. There is no happiness and it's temporary. Now everybody should remember why this world is reality, real. How this world is real? Because it has a connection with Krishna. Anything is not connected with Krishna, it's illusion, false. But anything has a connection. Actually, in reality, everything has a connection, but not everybody can see it. So that's why this illusion is created. In 1815, also Krishna said, those who worship me will not come to Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, but will attain supreme destination. Same, Krishna is telling now, Imam Prapya Bhajashamam. Very nice. So when we say Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, it means there is no point in putting all our energy in making this place a comfortable place. But the basic duty has to be taken care of, like mother, child, husband, wife. It's not like you reject the world and try to run away. That's not what Krishna is trying to say. Everybody understanding that point? You have a responsibility. You are a father, mother, whatever your responsibility, you must do it. Well, Krishna says this is Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, I don't care. No, that's not what Krishna is saying. Krishna says, don't put all your energy here. Your energy should go for bhakti, but you have to also take care while you are here. If you don't take care of your body, how are you going to listen Bhagavad Gita? How are you going to chant? You have to take care of your body. Whatever is necessary, but don't put all your energy. That's the main focus. When citizen came to Prithu Maharaj, I don't know if you read it or you can read in Bhagavatam, said digestive fire is burning us. Prithu Maharaj does not say good, it is Dukkhalayam. It's a very remarkable. You know what did he do? Prithu Maharaj was the incarnation of God. He made arrangement to take care of them. But not all efforts should go in removing miseries of this world. That is where against. There are some people, whole life they're trying to adjust this lifestyle. We are not interested for that. You must take care of your body, your health, your insurance, car, whatever is required, you must take care of it. But don't spend all your energy whole day just for that. You must give big portion to Krishna. So Janma Mrityu Jara Vedi, you heard that many times, is for everyone. But three clashes are depending how we act. So we can minimize our suffering on our own choice. I can relate with that because I act on it. Here Krishna says, so Imam Prapya, now you are here, then do Bhajashamam. Krishna says very clearly. In hospital, one can show a patient to another more serious patient and say, see, their disease is far greater than yours. I saw it one time, that's what I'm saying. So when they are cured, you will also be cured. So just take the medicine. Third class passenger in train wanted to go first class. I don't know if you ever had an experience. That is fine, but he should not miss or leave the train in the process. Also, all of us have certain propensities that belongs to us from birth, but it majorly depends on the quality. So birth gives us a nature, you can say. We should be comfortable internally and competent externally. Can you remember that? Be comfortable internally and competent externally. You know, one devotee gave an analogy one time, I remember. He says, this life is like a school. You all went to school. That's why it's very relevant. In which everyone thinks their exam is the toughest. I hope you can relate to that. When you are kids or you went to school, suppose, say, a school has an examination system in which each student gets a different question paper. Actually, the exam system is fair first because all students get what they need for their progressive education. Second, because the difficulty levels of the test even out in the long run. Sometimes they get easy paper, sometimes tough papers. I'm sure you all had experienced that. But suppose the student obsess over those of their test that are tougher than those of others and become disheartened, angry, or resentful. Overwhelmed by such negative emotions, they flunk in the tough tests and then do poorly even in the subsequent easier tests. I investigated, I asked some devotees' children, similar is our predicament in material existence. You can think the universe is like a university in which we are all tested for our wisdom and maturity. Now, wisdom comes from intellectual development, where the maturity comes from emotional development. And both come organically, synergistically, when we evolve spiritually. And here Krishna explains that we all are soul on a multi-life journey towards the Supreme. To be united with Krishna, unending love and bliss. During this journey, we all have to work through our past karma, whose good and bad reactions come during this life as easy, tough situation, respectively. But despite such varying specifics of our test, the world's overall nature ensures that everyone faces distresses sooner or later, today, tomorrow, sometime. The world's distresses don't allow any expectation. Despite differences in levels of intelligence, beauty, contacts, wealth, talent, you can add the list, go on and on. I'm sure if you reflect, you can relate with it. The world is a distressful place for everyone. If we can appreciate, so my suggestion is if we can appreciate and assimilate what Sri Krishna, this Bhagavad Gita inside, then we can avoid both resenting our tough test or envying others' easy test. We can best focus on connecting with Krishna through devotion. By such devotion, we can gain a sublime absorption that can empower us to pass all the tests. We are going to go to next sloka 34, and I need one more volunteer who never read or didn't read yet.
I can read.
I can read, Prabhu.
Nirguna Prabhu, and then Jai Prabhu. Okay. Nirguna Prabhu, please go ahead. 34, very important verse 2.
Okay. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mamevashyasi uktavyam atmana mad parayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. Sometimes unscrupulous commentators distort the meaning of what is clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentators divert the mind of the reader to that which is not at all feasible. I don't know what it means, feasible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and himself are one and absolute. It is stated in the Kurma Purana as it is quoted by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhasya comments on Chaitanya Chaitamrita, 5th chapter, Adilila, verse 41-48. Deha dehi vibedo yam nesvare vidyate kvachit. This means that there is no difference in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, between himself and his body. But because the commentators do not know the science of Krishna, they hide Krishna and divide his personality from his mind or from his body. Although there is sheer ignorance of the science of Krishna, some men make profit out of misleading people. There are some who are demoniac. They also think of Krishna, but enviously, just like King Kamsa, Krishna's uncle. He was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. That is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna continuously. What is that favorable cultivation? It is to learn from a bona fide teacher. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material, but is eternal. This full knowledge, this kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise from the wrong source will prove fruitless. Understanding Krishna otherwise from the wrong source will prove fruitless. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, with conviction in his heart that Krishna is the Supreme. He should engage himself in worship. There are hundreds of thousands of temples in India for the worship of Krishna, and devotional service is practiced there. When such practice is made, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity and engage his mind, his body, his activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. This will help one transfer to Krishna Loka. One should not be deviated by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the 9 different processes of devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting about Krishna. Pure devotional service is the highest achievement of human society. Yes, the 7 and 8 chapters of Bhagavad Gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and furtive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like the personal Brahmajyoti and localized Paramatma. But the pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna in which it is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigod is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from the standard, but still he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be a perfectly saintly person. His accidental non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down because his supreme Godhead personality takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta.
Very good. Thank you. That's wonderful. In the beginning purport, feasible means something possible, something practicable. So this is a wonderful verse. This is the conclude. And this verse, actually the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna repeated this verse again in 18th chapter. And he added something with it. He says that if you just do these 4 things, you will dissolve the false ego and you will come back to him without fail. Jaidam paramam guyam mad bhakteshu vidashyati bhaktimayi param kritta mamaivasya samsaya. Without doubt, you will come back to him. This is wonderful. So let's break down a little more. He says word to word meaning, man mana, think of me. Bhava mad bhakta, become my devotee. Now you may say, how does one become devotee? Then next Krishna says, Majjaji, worship me. If you worship me, you are my devotee. So if you don't worship Krishna, that means you are not his devotee. Krishna. Okay. Then Majjaji, worship me. Then Krishna says, Mam Namaskuru, offer obeisances to me. And if you do this, then what happened? Mam Eva Shashi, you will come back to me. See how scientifically cause and effect Krishna gives. Very sweet. Yuktaivam, Yukta Aivam, by being engaged, by being absorbed. Atmanam Mat Parayana. Here, Atmanam, your heart and soul will be Mat Parayana, will be devoted to me. So, Man Mana, the first word Krishna says, different people can fix their mind on Krishna in different way. Even though we have, how do you go back to here? Let's see, it is on gallery. Here it is, got it. We have 40, almost 50 devotees. Okay, right now in the Zoom, 47, something like that. So here you can see each of us can think Krishna in actually in a very unique way. There may not be similar at all. Your next in the Zoom may be thinking Krishna in a one way, you may be thinking another way. That Krishna is saying here, think of me in a way that bhava mad bhakta, that think of me, then offer your heart to me. Try to get that word. Think of me, then offer your heart to me. How do you offer your heart? I did mention a couple, last week. What is heart means? Where is the heart? Location of the heart? Anybody remembers?
What is in the heart?
Where is the location? Where is your heart? The soul's heart. not physical heart or mental heart.
Center of consciousness.
Yes, Prabhupada said it's in the center of our consciousness. What is consciousness means? Where is the symptom of consciousness? Are you alive or dead? How do you know right now? Is everybody dead or alive? Are you alive or dead?
By the breathing, we make out that we are alive.
How do you know you are alive?
The consciousness pervades in throughout the body, so that's what we are reacting.
No, yes, but you have to break down.
Yeah.
I can think.
Yeah, we are reacting.
I'm aware that this class is going on. I'm aware that I'm listening Krishna's word. If you are not aware, then where are you? You prove yourself by one of those three evidence. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means you have the ability to think. You are aware what is going on. And Ananda means it's a bliss, but experience. So if you feel happy to hear about Krishna, then you're giving your heart to Krishna. Everybody can relate what I'm trying to say, because it's difficult otherwise if you're not aware where your heart is. Heart means if you're thinking of Krishna, you are giving your heart to Krishna. If you're not thinking of Krishna, you're not offering your heart. Krishna is asking you to offer your heart. Heart means you think, you are aware, wow, unlimited Krishna. And I'm limited, but I can embrace him. You will allow me to embrace him. Wow, this is fascinating. Then Krishna loves it. This is how you reciprocate. So fixing your mind in a way that Krishna saying, I can enter in your heart. Do you feel, thank you Krishna for revealing this through Bhagavad Gita. Do you feel to appreciate that to Krishna? He will love that. If you can appreciate that, Krishna, thank you for revealing this knowledge. Otherwise, we would have no chance to understand you. Krishna will love that when you are grateful. So we may fix our mind on a thing without actually developing attraction towards that. That sort of thinking is called clinical thinking. Krishna does not want what kind of thinking? Krishna wants gentle transformational thinking. Krishna wants what kind? Gentle transformational thinking. If we think of Krishna in an open-hearted way, then he will enter into our heart. Then by thinking like this, we can do activities that promote feeling for devotion, feeling of devotion. Now you may say, what is that? Majjaji, he used that word, Majjaji mam namaskuru. He said, worship me. I mentioned this, I think, first day or second day, that Prabhupada was having a big meeting with a big Indian industrialist one time in Bombay, before the temple we got, before we bought that land. And there was a one homeless guy. Anybody remember the story? I thought I mentioned here. A homeless guy from the street in Juhu Beach. He had really nothing, just a little copin, underwear kind of, and that's it, bare, and then as a very dirty in a sense, like, and he has nothing, real homeless. But somehow or other, he had such a piety that he went to that rich man's house. He didn't talk to the security guard or anybody. They're there. They're like surprised how he's like entering. It's just straight. And he plucked the beautiful roses from the garden of that rich man. And he went straight to the meeting hall and went straight to Prabhupada, crossed all those men and offered that flower to Prabhupada and paid obeisances. And Prabhupada for 10 minutes could not move, didn't discuss any meeting. He was emotional. He said, this is what needed, what Krishna wants. So Prabhupada is not taking to him. Try to understand, Prabhupada does not take to him. He is taking from this man. and offering to Krishna. When we offer something to Prabhupada, it's not for him. It is for Krishna's pleasure. He's collecting. He's like a tax collector. Tax collector collects tax from each citizen for the government. Krishna. So something like this. We need like that kind of. Now question comes, then what will happen? Krishna says, offer your heart to me, emotions. Then we discuss Majjajimam Namaskuru, physical level, obeisances, arati. You go to temple, you're in your house or in ISKCON temple, you pay obeisances. That pleases Krishna. Think like this. Every time you pay obeisances, oh, that pleases Krishna. Also something is happening in your heart. What? Your false ego diminishing. The verse before this, in 18th chapter, he says, Sarva guya tamam bhuya, sinume paramam bacha, isto esi dhiramiti e tato bhaksamite hitam. Arjuna, I'm not looking for your obeisances. It's not that Krishna needs some obeisances from this earthly planet. He has a unlimited soul paying obeisances all the time. He doesn't need. But he told to Arjuna, Te hitam, for your benefit, Arjuna, pay obeisances. Because if Arjuna pay obeisances, if I pay obeisances, if Kavilda Prabhu pay obeisances, our false ego disappears. That's Krishna wants. False ego causing us trouble in this world. You want to get rid of false ego? Respect Vaishnavas. Respect Krishna. Appreciate. Be grateful. False ego disappears. This is the easiest way, but it's not easy to do it. We don't like to appreciate every time everyone, but we should learn how to do it. Then false ego will disappear. Then Krishna says, Juktevam. You will be jukta. You will be engaged. You will be with me if you keep on doing. You will offer your body, mind, heart, soul. Then you will be absorbed in Krishna. These are our 3 levels of existence. So Krishna is telling, offer all these 3 levels to me. What are those three levels? Everybody understood that? Body, mind, and heart or soul. This 3 levels, Krishna wants you to come. Body, you pay obeisances. Or you look at Krishna like this. Mind, you're thinking. And the soul or heart, feeling. Do you feel happy to pay obeisances? If you feel happy, then it's very good. Krishna loves it. Then you're offering it. So this concluding verse is called by Acharyas the essence of essence of essence of the essence. This is just the way I hear it, I see it. What does it mean? Among all Vedic literature, Bhagavad Gita is called essence. Sarva Upanishado Gavo. Then Dugdha Gopalanandana. Partha Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Dugdham Gita Tam Mahat. So it is said from all Upanishad, Gita is the milk of the cow, where cow is the Upanishads. So Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Vedic literature. In the Bhagavad Gita, middle 6th chapter is the essence of, because they are focused on bhakti. Like we don't call, I don't know if, maybe you all know what is sandwich, burger. There is a 2 loaf bread, bottom and top, and in the middle is the main protein, nutrition, supposed to be. So the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, according to Prabhupada's explanation, in 18th chapter, text 1, you will see Prabhupada breaks down. He didn't say burger, don't quote me that. I am just coming up with that because I love burger also sometimes. There's a devotee makes veggie burger here. Sells very nice. And the 3 piece of, the middle part is the most nutrition tasty. And top and bottom is just, because the first 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita is this karma, kanda karma, focusing to bhakti, can bring you slowly. And the last 6 chapter, jnana, end with bhakti. But in the middle is the bhakti alone itself, the perfect. So this is what we are, in the middle of the middle. So within those 6 chapters, 9th chapter is called Raja Guyam, most confidential knowledge. That's why I say essence of the essence of the essence. The essence of the entire Veda is Bhagavad Gita. Essence of this Bhagavad Gita is this middle 6th chapter. And essence of this middle 6th chapter is this chapter, 9th chapter. So within this last chapter is this verse which calls for devotion and guarantees supreme liberation. Then that is the essence. It's unfortunate how Prabhupada says that Mayavadi wanted to march to formless. They can do, but to impose their philosophy on Bhagavad Gita is an offense, particularly in Bhakti section. It is brutal violation to the mode and the message of Bhagavad Gita. In the previous chapter, many places it is mentioned, therefore, practice yoga, but what yoga to practice is given is very conclusive way, that is Bhakti yoga. So I'll end here with this, that, sorry, in Bhakti, I really want everybody to remember, because you all are respected by me, I appreciate that in devotion, we don't just make the offerings. This verse is not promoting that. We are ourselves the offering. Can you remember that? We don't just make the offering. We are ourselves the offering. That is Krishna wants. To connect personally with anyone, we usually offer them something with love. The same principle applies to the process of Bhakti Yoga, wherein we aspire to connect personally with the all-attractive Supreme Person, Krishna. During our Bhakti practice, we may offer food on the altar. We may offer our time in the temple, or hearing Bhagavad Gita on the Zoom. You are doing that. Sometimes we donate money to the temple, financial support, various ways, devotional project. The Bhagavad Gita 9.27, if you remember, recommends what? That we infuse all our activity with the mood of offering. Additionally, and most importantly, Krishna wants us to offer our entire being to him. Please remember that. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explaining that we are all soul, we are eternal parts of Krishna. Krishna wants us to live forever with him in a bond of ecstatic love. And Bhakti Yoga practice is meant to take us towards the destination. The Gita states repeatedly that Bhakti centers on connecting with Krishna by offering ourselves to him. Krishna accepts even the simplest of objects provided they are offered with devotion. That is, if we offer our heart to him, through them, those who devote themselves to him live in him, Krishna says. That is, they become the offering that is eternally united with him in love. I'm sure you remember 9.29. Those who practice bhakti and offer themselves to him, Atmana Mat Parayana, we just read, attain him. So what's the conclusion? Thus we are offering that Krishna wants most. Understanding this is empowering, devotionally and emotionally. Devotionally empowering, how? When averse Material circumstances make it impossible for us to offer anything materially valuable to Krishna. We may feel disheartened, but we don't need to be. We can still offer something vital and valuable. Our heart, our consciousness, our thinking, our feeling, our awareness, ourselves. And how do you do emotionally empowering? Amidst adversities, we may feel resentful, but we can stay purposeful by focusing our consciousness on Krishna. We can stay purposeful by focusing our consciousness on Krishna. Through that divine connection, we will receive his grace and will slowly experience peace, calm, clarity, contentment. So I'm ending here. I'm not going to ask you any question or comment right now until we finish. We're going to start, unless somebody has something to do with this sloka that we just read, or we'll proceed to chapter 10. So with the conclusion, what did you read? Let's see. That we conclude with this, that remembering Krishna is not a function of the memory. It is an inclination of the heart. Please remember that. Now, I need to drink some water. I need a few devotee volunteers who did not read yet to start the chapter 10, but I'll be back in 30 seconds. I need to get little water.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mata, what is your name?
I'm Arundhati Prabhuji.
Can you write down?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranamas. Chapter 10, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mother, I'm back.
The opulence of the Absolute.
Just wait for a 1 minute. I'm going to say something for everybody to. That's okay. Chapter 10. Made a little note. It started with Arjuna did not ask any question. Try to understand this. You will not see Arjuna's asking question. Krishna is in ecstasy. Did you ever feel like this, that you are talking so many things to your best friend, you are so overwhelmed, and then you came to the house and you keep on talking about that glorious thing? You forgot to sit down, can I bring you some water? You're just so overwhelmed with, and your friend also. So this is what happening with Krishna. That he's so happy, joyful with Arjuna, glorifying the bhakti, that he just went on. There is no question answer. Arjuna is not asking a question in chapter 10. You will not see in the beginning. Krishna is in ecstasy while speaking Bhakti Yoga. He did not need any question to proceed further. So, chapter 10 will break it down into 4 sections. 1 to 7, Krishna is going to reveal no one knows Krishna as he is the source of all. Then 8 to 11 is the most important Chatusloki. I'm sure you all heard about this Chatusloki. Means if you remember this 4 sloka, you remember whole Bhagavad Gita. 8, 9, 10, 11, this 4 sloka. Then 12 to 18, Arjuna accepts Krishna's glories and desire to hear more. Just imagine, put yourself with Krishna. Imagine your friend, you is showing eagerness to hear what you are saying for last 1 hour. Yeah, tell me more. I really want to know. You feel, how do you feel? You feel like, wow, he wants to know or she wants to know more. Then you are excited more to tell. So Krishna and Arjuna's situation, even though 640 million people are waiting to kill each other, but they are in their own world. They are in love, talking. So Krishna just loved to hear, express, and Arjuna says, I want to hear more. Krishna says, well, sure. So he went like this, 12 to 18. Text 12 to 18, we'll see that. Then 19 to 42, total 42 text. 19 to 42, how to know Krishna. Krishna going to reveal to Arjuna in this world. That's such a wonderful. Krishna will reveal to Arjuna how to know Krishna through his vibhuti. Vibhuti means, wow, like this, astonishing, or any glorious things. Krishna said, you can see me there. You cannot control your mind because that's me. Oh, really? Wow. So you will be like, wow, you can relate Krishna. This is so wonderful. So this chapter is called Vibhuti Yoga or opulence. What was 7th chapter, if you remember? Knowledge of the absolute. 9th chapter was most confidential knowledge. Ujjal Haldar Prabhu, can you please mute your... Ujjal Haldar Prabhu, can you mute your side, please? Otherwise, I have to mute you. Thank you. Then chapter 10 focuses on glory of Bhagavan so that one can enhance his bhakti. So we'll start with the text 1. 1 to 7, everybody remembers? No one knows Krishna as he is the source of all. We are going to start hearing. Go ahead, Mata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Chapter 10, The Opulence of the Absolute. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Bhuya Heva Mahabaho Shruno Me Paramam Vacha Yateham Priyamanayam Lakshyami Itakamyayam. Translation and purport given by S. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, O mighty Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Purport. The word Bhagavan is explained thus by Parasara Muni, one who is full in 6 opulences, who has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation, is Bhagavan or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. While Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all 6 opulences. Therefore, great sages like Parasara Muni have all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Krishna is instructing Arjuna in more confidential knowledge of his opulences and his work. Previously, beginning with the 7th chapter, the Lord has already explained his different energies and how they are acting. Now, in this chapter, he explains his specific opulences to Arjuna. In the previous chapter, he has clearly explained his different energies to establish devotion in firm conviction. Again, in this chapter, he tells Arjuna about his manifestations and various opulences. The more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees that will enhance one's devotional service. Discourses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Others cannot take part in such discourses. The Lord clearly tells Arjuna that because Arjuna is very dear to him, for his benefit, such discourses are taking place. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Very good. Thank you. I need one more volunteer for next verse. Before that, I'm going to just talk. So whoever did not read, just be prepared, Prabhu or Mother. So in this verse, Bhuya Eva, again, certainly. Mahabahu, oh, very powerful one. Srinume, here. Paramam Bacha, supreme words. Jatteyam Priyamanaya, because you are very dear to me. Therefore, Bhakshami, and I speak. Hita Kamaya, desiring your benefit. So Krishna has started this chapter on very personal note. Can you see that? When you hear the Prabhupada's purport, Krishna has started this chapter on a very personal note. You devotee, you devote yourself to me. Krishna is saying to Arjuna, I guarantee that you will come back to me, and there is no doubt. Now Krishna is speaking that I'll speak more to you. Krishna is speaking a knowledge which is very dear to him. He's speaking to people here, devotees, who are also very dear to him. And then Krishna says, Paramam Bacha. I like that word. They are supreme words. They're not regular just word of Veda, which is knowledge of Bhakti, knowledge of Bhagavad, which guides us, leads us to Bhakti. Like on previous chapter, if you remember, he says, Rajavidya Rajaguyam, Paramam Bacha Uttamam. So Uttam, superior knowledge, king of knowledge, here's supreme words. Srila Prabhupada's purport, discourses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Can anybody guess who they are? You all are. We all are. You are showing interest to hear about Krishna, and that's what Krishna is expressing. They are my devotees who are interested to listen. And those who are not coming to hear, they are not devotee. Those who are not interested to hear Bhagavad Gita or Krishna consciousness, they are not devotee. That's how you distinguish. Krishna is saying this very nicely. We reserve our anxiety for material things, but we are not anxious about Krishna conscious things. That's what they say. Even Krishna conscious can be at different level. Fear, desire, duty, and love. So please examine your heart right now. At what level you are coming to Krishna consciousness. At our level, Rupa Goswami Pad has said, Jana Kena Prakarana Mano Krishna Niveshay. Some or other, try to remember Krishna. So what Krishna is revealing, that this Bhagavad Gita is a revelation of love and an invitation to love. So the next verse, text 2. Jai Nayar Prabhu.
Okay, Hari Bol.
And you are followed by another devotee also who did not read. Please be ready.
Name viduha suraganaha prabhavam na maharshayah ahamadirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. Neither the hosts of demigods, nor the great sages, know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Purport: as stated in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord. No one is greater than him. He is the cause of all causes. Here it is also stated by the Lord personally that he is the cause of all the demigods and sages. Even the demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name nor his personality. So what is the position of the so-called scholars of this tiny planet? No one can understand why this Supreme God comes to earth as an ordinary human being and executes such wonderful, uncommon activities. One should know then that scholarship is not the qualification necessary to understand Krishna. Even the demigods and the great sages have tried to understand Krishna by their mental speculation, and they have failed to do so. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, it is clearly said that even the great demigods are not able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can speculate to the limits of their imperfect senses and can reach the opposite conclusion of impersonalism, of something not manifested by the three qualities of material nature, or they can imagine something by mental speculation. But it's not possible to understand Krishna by such foolish speculation. Here the Lord indirectly says that if anyone wants to know the absolute truth, here I am present as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the Supreme. One should know this. Although one cannot understand the inconceivable Lord who is personally present, he nonetheless exists. We can actually understand Krishna, who is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, simply by studying his words in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The conception of God as some ruling power or as the impersonal Brahman can be reached by persons who are in the inferior energy of the Lord. But the personality of Godhead cannot be conceived unless one is in the transcendental position. Because most men cannot understand Krishna in his actual situation, out of his causeless mercy, he descends to show favor to such speculators. Yet, despite the Supreme Lord's uncommon activities, these speculators, due to contamination in the material energy, still think that the impersonal Brahman is the Supreme. Only the devotees who are fully surrendered unto the Supreme Lord can understand by the grace of the Supreme Personality that he is Krishna. The devotees of the Lord do not bother about the impersonal Brahman conception of God. Their faith and devotion bring them to surrender immediately unto the Supreme Lord. And out of the causeless mercy of Krishna, they can understand Krishna. No one else can understand him. So even great sages agree. What is Atma? What is the Supreme? It is he whom we have to worship. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. So let's see word for word. Synonyms Prabhupada give, very nice. I like those where Prabhupada, you can, when you focus on the word meaning, you can see where Prabhupada is drawing his translation and beautiful comment, purport. Name Bidhu. I am not known. This is the Krishna's first opinion, that I'm not known. Nobody knows me. Then you may say, who doesn't know Krishna? Suragana, the various demigods, all the demigods. But we generally think the demigods should know God, Krishna, isn't? We think like that. But Krishna says, no, they don't know. What Krishna is trying to say here, that they don't know my origin. Prabham, my origin they don't know. They know me, but actually one aspect, but they don't know my real origin. And my origin is not known by the demigod. What to speak of demigod? Even the Maharshaya do not know me. Even demigods worship rishis. Brihaspati, Indra, they worship Brihaspati. Why? Aham adihi devanam. I came before them, Krishna is claiming. Maharshinam cha sarvasa. Even all the Maharshi, they came after me and from me. So what he is going to speak, others do not know about the, because he is Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes. Demonstrate Krishna is the original person. Now here in Bhagavatam we see Mohayanti Jat Suraya. There is a verse in Bhagavatam, it says Mohayanti Jat Suraya. Even demigods get bewildered. In 10th canto, Brahma, Indra, they all got bewildered. You remember when Brahmaji came I'm not going to give you the whole story, you all know, that from the outer space, he looked at, all the demigods are praising Krishna, who just killed Aghasura. And from Aghasura's body, soul came out, stayed in the sky to show everybody, hey, the demon is finished. Other day we discussed that when Krishna kills or Sudarshan Chakra kills, what they kill? Anybody remembers? Why it is higher than regular death?
Subtle body.
Very good, very nice. Yes, subtle body. And why bhakti is difficult right now in our life? Because subtle body. Subtle body has to be bhakta. If you look at each other, we all have a tilak, neck beads. Physical body is already bhakta. You all are bhakta, physical body. You have a tilak, you have a neck beads. What more you need? But subtle body has to be bhakta. Then your journey is over. So, in the purport, Prabhupada writes, the conception of God as some ruling power, as the impersonal Brahman, can be reached by person who are in the inferior energy of the Lord. But the personality of Godhead cannot be conceived unless one is in transcendental position. Everybody got it? Unless one is in transcendental position, the personality of Godhead cannot be conceived. That's why demigods cannot, or the rishis. We can correlate this with Paramatma and Brahman. Conception roughly. Let's see. Conception of God as some ruling power or as an impersonal Brahman. So the Paramatma is the controller of this world. An impersonal Brahman is all pervading effulgence. These are the two primary conceptions of God, which are present in many theistic conceptions. As I mentioned to you, Judaism ends. I had a long talk with Dr. He has a 3 PhD, Rosenberg. He has a 3 PhD on Torah. The Moses 5 chapter is called Torah, like we call Bhagavad Gita. The love talk of Krishna and Arjuna, we call Bhagavad Gita. They call Torah, means the 5th chapter of Moses. And then there is a second Torah, which is the commentary of the first Torah, because it's difficult to understand. At the end, mental system dissolved and they don't know. When I asked Dr. Weisenberg, I said, what happened to the soul? Where are you? At that stage, when the mental system dissolved. He said, no explanation. So it's very scary to me. If I lost my existence, I don't know what happened to me, I don't know. How you want to think and to get out of there? That's why another conception of Mayavadi, it's like a bogus. They're actually hurting the world, the innocent people. That's why Shankaracharya came. Shivaratri next week, Shankaracharya came just to bewilder the atheist, bewilder the demoniac nature, separate from the innocent. Because majority people, Prabhupada says, are innocent in this world. They don't know God, they're confused, but they're not against God. Against God or hate God, very few, but they're like a very influential. So Shankaracharya came to divide them. Take the innocent out from those who hates or don't want to accept the personal conception of God. So Krishna says he cannot be known by all, but he says, if you come to know me, there are great benefits available. Nate vidhu sartha, nate vidhu suragana prabhaham na maharshaya. This is the verse explaining. Neither the host of demigod nor the great sages know my origin or opulence. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigod and sages. You remember I mentioned that past time about Brahmaji looking from the outer space. and he saw how Krishna is eating, first of all, with left hand. You know, in Vedic culture, even human beings are not allowed to eat with left hand. Left hand is for your, cleaning the bottom part or something after passing stool or urine. And right hand you use for honoring. But Krishna was eating yogurt with his coward friends, picnic, Ban Bhojan. And he's eating the yogurt with his left hand. So Brahmaji first doubted, it's impossible, he cannot be my father. Because his father is Vishnu. And he's thinking, how is possible he's eating with left hand? It's not my father. So doubt started. Then when Brahmaji took the cows away, actually he did not take, it was an illusion created by Jogamaya, so he could fall for it. And he said, wow, Krishna came and searching everywhere, he could not find the cows. And he started crying, oh no, what will happen? What I'm going to tell my parents? All the parents will be asking, where are the cows? And we don't know where the cows are. They all lost. And he started afraid and he started like crying. Brahmaji is thinking, that cannot be my father. He's thinking like this. Then he comes around. When he comes back to the picnic place, coward boys also lost. Everybody knows that story, right? Coward boys lost. Even the banana peel, even the lunch bag, everything gone. Not only the boys, everything, no trace of any sign of the boys eating even. Then Krishna is saying, Madhumangal, Subal, I don't like this hide and seek game. I want you two guys to come out. Come on, don't play this hide and seek game. Brahmaji is thinking, Arey, what kind of my father is that, Vishnu? He doesn't even know that I took the cows, now I took all the boys. He has no idea. Then he started crying. So Brahmaji, with that conception, he left. He's thinking that this is not possible, my father. How did it, what happened to him there to revive his consciousness to understand? When he went back to his home. I'm asking all of you, did you ever come back home and nobody recognize you? I hope not. That will be horrible. But Brahmaji come back. You cannot imagine Brahmaji's house, Brahmapuri. I'm talking about Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokulaikataikam. It's a duplicate of this Gokul. Brahmaji's planet has thousands of petals. Each petal accommodates thousands of rishis, yogis. They recite Vedas. Everybody is a dancer, singer, all glories. And Brahmaji sits in the middle. You're talking about like 1,000,000 miles. All the security guards, he has 1 trillion security guards. They secure the whole Brahmapuri. And today Brahmaji comes back on his swan. No security guard even salute or welcome. Brahmaji is thinking, what is going on? These are my appointed person. I am their boss. Brahmaji said, hey, do you know who I am? And they answered, you look like somebody imitating our father. What? I'm the Brahma. Then they immediately call the head security guard. The head security guard comes. Head security guard comes and saying, can I help you? Why are you asking, can I help you? I'm your father. Don't you know me? Well, you dress very good. Looks like you're trying to look like my father, but we have our father inside. Brahmaji started thinking, oh, did I do something wrong? This is Brahmapuri, it's my own house. Can you imagine you come to your house, your wife or husband don't recognize and say, can I help you? What do you mean you help me? This is my house. Excuse me. You are not allowed. I'm sorry, you are in a wrong house. How do you feel? How would you feel embarrassed? Brahmaji could not convince either one. Then he's very intelligent. So he thought something went wrong. Something dramatic went wrong. No one recognized me. Then he begged, can I have little darshan of your father? The head security guard says, we'll see. You have appointment? Appointment. No, I don't have appointment. Such embarrassing, you cannot imagine. The president of America comes back to America and nobody knows. They ask him if he has a visa. It never happened. Probably it can happen. But Brahmaji, this has happened. Then finally, the head security guard has to contact the inner mahal. Then they said, okay, he can come for a short time. When he entered the Brahmapuri in the meeting hall, that put him into illusion. Everybody knows what's the meaning between illusion and delusion. Prabhupada used both. Illusion means when you don't see the connection between Krishna and anything or anybody. When you don't see the connection, that's called illusion. Where is coming from? Bhagavatam. Rite artam jat pratiyata na pratiyata cha atmani. Tad viddad atmana maya jata bhasa jatatama. So this is Brahmaji learned. So that's illusion. But when you think, I want to enjoy this is mine, that is delusion, not illusion. It's worse. Illusion means you don't see the connection. Delusion means you claim that is yours to enjoy. So delusion is worse than. So Brahmaji, when he came inside, he was dumbstruck. Everybody understand the word dumbstruck like a what? The four Kumaras never ever, this is his first children, four Kumaras, never ever expressed their love for him. And Brahmaji seeing that one Brahma is sitting there in his seat and four Kumara hugging, Baba, Pitaji, bolo, bolo, you please tell more. I love you. And Narad Muni is giving a hug. He said, nobody ever hugged me. Nobody ever loved me like this. What is this? This must be God, Vishnu, took this form. Then he realized something he did wrong downstairs. I mean, lower planet. He said, thank you. They escorted him out of the gate, make sure he is outside. Brahmaji, intelligent, did not argue anything. And he came straight back to Vrindavan and he started thinking, he may be my father. I did a mistake. So you understand, even Brahmaji fell in illusion. He has an estimation. When he came back to Vrindavan, first he was checking. Krishna was not there. Krishna is being fed by all this mother. And you know, all these gopi mothers, every day what they did to Krishna, checking. I'm feeding you. Are you growing big? Let me see your muscle. Brahmaji is thinking, what kind of love is this? The mother's checking God's muscle. If he's growing, he's gaining muscle. This is what Krishna wants, a family man. Krishna wants all of us to be in his family member. This is very secret, confidential. That's why those who don't have a devotion can never understand Krishna. Bhakti theology goes beyond polytheism, monotheism to polymorphic bimonotheism. One time I was looking in the Googles that I put polymorphic monotheism, and if you can put it in the Googles, you will see what the answer. He said only Vaishnava knows. That was a very good answer. But then I put polymorphic bimonotheism, which is our, and it says no information. Because it's only Krishna, only we know. There is a monism, monotheism, polytheism, polymorphic monotheism. What we believe, I mean, not believe, what we, our philosophy stands, polymorphic bimonotheism. In our belief, it is not Krishna is God alone. It is Krishna and Radha, both together is God. Everybody understood that? This is Mahaprabhu's teaching. It is Radha, Krishna together. It is not the female and male of this world. It is Radha, Krishna together is God. That's why it's called polymorphic bimonotheism. One day we'll explain that. It's a beautiful explanation how it is. So conventional Western thought divided the world's religions into polytheistic, if you really think very deeply, and monotheistic. Monotheistic religions such as Judaism, Christianity, and Islam viewed derisively the polytheistic religions that precede them in a, you can say, Greco-Roman civilization. And when this monotheism encounters the Vedic tradition of ancient India that Bhagavad Gita we are discussing, they often label the tradition as a primitive polytheism, akin to Greco-Roman counterparts. But a careful study of this Bhakti tradition, which is ripened fruit of Vedic wisdom. Bhagavatam beginning, it says, Dharma prajita kaitavatra parama nirmat saranam satam Veddam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayana unmulanam. When we study those, we can understand this, that Bhakti theology goes far beyond stereotype of polytheism and monotheism to reveal a profound vision of the divine that can be called polymorphic bimonotheism in a shorter version. Okay, we are 10:25. Should we do one more sloka or starts tomorrow? One more? Okay, one more.
Yes.
Who is going to read? Nirguna Prabhu, you did reading. Somebody did not read yet? Haribol. Everybody read? Really?
I can read, Prabhu.
Okay, Mother
Hare
Nilam.
Krishna, Prabhuji, I also.
Okay, Mother Nilambari first. She raised her, and then you can do that, Prabhu Radha. Yes, go ahead, Mother.
Yomam ajam adimcha veti loka maheshwaram ashamudha mateshu sarva papai pramuchate. Translation. We know he who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only and undiluted among men is freed from all sins.
Okay, very good. Mother, you can go halfway purport, and then the other Prabhu can read, because it's a long purport. Go halfway, Mother.
It's a long purport. As stated in the 7th chapter, 7.3, Manushrinam Shahasreshu Kachit Yatati Siddhe. Those who are trying to elevate themselves to the platform of spiritual realization are not ordinary men. They are superior to millions and millions of ordinary men who have no knowledge of spiritual realization. But out of those actually trying to understand their spiritual situation, one who come to the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the proprietor of everything, the unborn, is the most successful spiritual realized person. In that stage only, when one has fully understood Krishna's supreme position, can one be free completely from all sinful reactions. Here the Lord is described by the word Aja, meaning unborn, but he is distinct from the living entities who are described in the 2nd chapter as Aja. The Lord is different from the living entities who are taking birth and dying due to material attachment. The conditioned soul are changing their bodies, but his body is not changeable. Even when he comes to the material world, he comes as the same unborn. Therefore, in the 4th chapter, it is said that the Lord, by his internal potency, is not under the inferior material energy, but is always in the superior energy. In this verse, the words Vetti Loka Maheshwaram indicates that one should know that Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor of the planetary system of the universe. He was existing. He was existing before the creation, and he is different from his creation. All the demigods were created within this material world, but as far as Krishna is concerned, it is said that he is not created. Therefore, Krishna is different even from the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. And because he is the creator of Brahma, Shiva, and all the other demigods, he is the supreme person of all planets. Should I continue, Prabhu? Okay.
You can go one more paragraph, please.
Sri Krishna is therefore different from different from everything that is created, and anyone who knows him as such immediately becomes liberated from all sins, sinful reactions. One must be liberated from all sinful activities to be in the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Only by devotional service can he be known, and not by any other means, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Prabhuji, who was...
yes, Prabhuji, I wanted to read. Hare Krishna.
Please start from there, where she left.
One should not try to understand Krishna as a human being. As stated previously, only a foolish person thinks him to be a human being. This is again expressed here in a different way. A man who is not foolish, who is intelligent enough to understand the constitutional position of Godhead, is always free from all sinful reactions. If Krishna is known as the son of Devaki, then how can he be unborn? That is also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. When he appeared before Devaki and Vasudeva, he was not born as an ordinary child. He appeared in his original form, and then he transformed himself into an ordinary baby. Anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated by material reactions, which may be auspicious or inauspicious. Conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less a mental concoction, because there is nothing auspicious in this material world. Everything is inauspicious because the very material nature is inauspicious. We simply imagine it to be auspicious. Real auspiciousness depends on activities in full Krishna consciousness, in full devotion and service. Therefore, if we at all want our activities to be auspicious, then we should work under the directions of the Supreme Lord. Such directions are given in authoritative scriptures such as Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, or from a bona fide spiritual master. Because the spiritual master is a representative of the Supreme Lord, his direction is directly the direction of the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master, saintly persons, and scriptures direct in the same way. There is no contradiction in these three sources. All actions done under such direction are free from the reactions of pious or impious activities in this material world. The transcendental attitude of the devotee in the performance of activity is actually that of renunciation, and that is called sannyas. As stated in the first verse of 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one who acts as a matter of duty because he has been ordered to do by the Supreme Lord, and who does not seek shelter in the fruits of his activities, anashrita karma phalam, is a true renouncer. Anyone acting under the direction of the Supreme Lord is actually a sannyasi and a yogi, and not the man who has simply taken the dress of the sannyasi or a pseudo yogi.
Very good. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that in 10.3, which we just read, Lord Krishna described first half of the benefit. And then tomorrow, 10.7, you'll see the second half. So be ready for tomorrow. So here in this verse, he says, Jomam Ajam Anadim Cha. So first thing, understand that I am beyond understanding of time. Because all the explanation in this world under the three things: time, space, and matter. So in this chapter, we will see very interesting. The transcendental is God beyond the matter. But something more in 10th chapter end we'll see. The transcendental is God beyond the nature, that is true. Immense is God within the nature. This is never explained much in any theological world. But in this chapter, Krishna will be revealing this. Transcendental is God beyond the nature, yes. People can relate. Immense is God in the nature. That is not explained. So this chapter is very fascinating. Now actually, the Atma is also Ajam and Anadim. And Brahma ji also called Aja because he was not born from his parents, mother. He is born from Vishnu's navel directly. Sometime what's special about him? Vetti Loko Maheswaram. Atam is never Loko Maheswaram. Brahmaji is also Loko Maheshwar. He is Lord of Brahmaloka, but not of all planets. Sarvaloka Maheshwara, some compound word Krishna is using here. 529 in Bhagavad Gita, the famous verse, I'm sure you all know by heart. What did Krishna declare? Bhaktaram Jagatavasam Sarvaloko Maheshwaram. He claims himself. He didn't mention Brahmaji's name. He said, I am beyond time and controller of everyone, and I am the supreme being. So Asammura Samurtesu. Asammura, such as person, is undeluded. So Mura is delusion. And Asammura is one who is free from delusion. Then Krishna says, Samurtesu. All people in this world is Marta, Marta Loka, Marta Vasi. All of us are meant for death ultimately. But Sarva Pape Pramuchyate. When we come to know Krishna, we become free from all sins. Krishna has talked same in 4th chapter, 4:10, Uta. By knowing about me, all becomes purified. Vitaraga Bhayakruda. What is that verse? Manmaya mam avashrita. Bhava gena tapasa putam bhavam agata. Putam, same word. So actually impurity means misdirected desires. That our desire are directed towards worldly objects. So knowing Krishna is transformational to our heart. Becomes attracted to Krishna. And not remain attached towards worldly object. Here Krishna saying hearing about Krishna is also purifying. Maya means when we feel something is valuable, it is not connected with Krishna. Everybody understand that point. Very clear. I mentioned many times. Karma kandi thinks this is auspicious, this is not so. I will do this, I will not do this. Jnani thinks what Jnani they think. Maybe within us also, sometimes we think if we are Jnani level, everything is cause of bondage, so I will not do anything. They reject. Jnani, they suffer this way while practicing, and they suffer after they also get out of here. So what a horrible life. Devotees uses everything is the service of Krishna. So is there any comment? I'll end here, and tomorrow we'll start from text 4, 5 together, and we'll try to finish. Let's see, what was the...
I want to ask a question, Prabhu, about, actually, I wanted to ask about chapter 9 at the end, but I was not sure now. I want to ask the last, is it okay? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
The last verse of chapter 9, it says this: the world is this miserable anityam asukam lokam. But we know that before that, Krishna said in chapter, I think it was 7, Chaturvida bhajatemam jana supitino Arjuna, that 4 kinds of people, pious people, surrender to him: the distress, the one who is inquisitive, the one who wants money, and the one who wants to know the absolute truth. So, and then you mentioned that everybody suffers, but I think sometimes we see the young people, they not so aware of so much suffering. They actually have this cynicism, and they enjoy because they're not looking for the truth. So if you can say something about this, it's not everybody suffering, but people still will come to Krishna out of curiosity, and eventually I believe, yes, but that's not all the time. Yes.
You mean, I see. So you, in your personal experience, you see that people are not necessarily accepting that idea that they are suffering.
Yes. Yes, because there is also more experiences in this world, and actually there is a lot of faith in the fact that if I would have a lot of money, then I would be in topmost happiness, and I just have to be like the richest man in the world. Or if, and then you have all kind of curious people, and like this kind of faith.
Good question. You're thinking very good. You're probably preaching, that's why you're facing this. And
Yeah,
that's nice. Yes.
Yes.
This is nice. You're thinking. Let me ask you a question. If you see your child, I don't know if you're married or not, but just imagine you have a child, and the child is playing, and there is a cobra came, and the child did not know, and is trying to touch the cobra. The child is feeling happy. Is that a really happy, or it's ignorance is accepted as a happiness, but knowing that in a few minutes the cobra will sting and the child will die? Now the mother will not agree that what child is experiencing as a happiness is not happiness. It makes sense?
Yes.
Like, but the child has no idea this cobra is going to kill. So child is actually thinking, maybe I'm happy that the snake is moving, I should catch it. And is trying to crawl to go catch it. But seeing this mother is knowing that this is dangerous, she's probably screaming out, help. She'll probably jump over there. So it depends on the different perception. Because they have an idea, we often think, this is a very good question, that if we gain enough information, we'll become knowledgeable. They even think that. Significantly, however, that knowledge grows by leading a life of goodness, not merely by accumulating information in the intellect. Even we see that even within our, I don't want to say it, but in our movement sometime, the second generation, they think like if we have a facility more to enjoy, then we would be better than practicing Krishna consciousness. They don't see that they have an advantage of born in a family where they can easily adopt Krishna consciousness. They may not be able to see it, but this question comes that why Krishna did not create enough sense enjoyment, then we would be happy here. It's very difficult to convince a 3-year-old girl who is only interested in Beanie Baby or Barbie doll that romantic life is exciting. You think ever this 3-year-old girl will convince that actually romantic life is very exciting? No. They are interested in Barbie doll, Beanie Babies, like that. So it's very difficult. But when they mature, they will agree. So anybody just say that the sense enjoyment, if they have more money or more whatever the facility they want, that they will be better off. If they, when they become devotee, that's what they say. They don't agree what the karmi thinks. And evidence like Jarabharat, who had a kingdom, who had all the opulences, so many. Even Dhruva Maharaj, who got everything, he got bigger kingdom, but what is their conclusion? Did they say they are happy with this, what Dhruva Maharaj got? Or did Jarabharat say that, oh, I should not have given up? No, they feel very actually happy, because ultimately when he really experienced that Krishna consciousness, happiness in loving service, that all this material facility is nothing but insignificant, very insignificant. Generally, we human have an innate need to worship something bigger than ourselves. In Gainesville, there's a soccer game. I mean, also baseball, big. Sports fans adore as sports stars, consciously or subconsciously equating their idol with God. Similarly, movie lovers in India, I saw movie lovers worship a movie star. I would not say the name, any particular. Political activists worship the political leader. Nowadays, some technology and enthusiasts fantasize that a supercomputer with extraordinary artificial intelligence, maybe God. Pertinently, Bhagavad Gita indicates that our knowledge is stolen. Now, why they desire the sense gratification is better, because their real knowledge is covered. Real intelligence is covered. So then, as Krishna says, we surrender to whichever God promises fulfillment of those desires. And you will see that, Prabhu, those people, if they find any sources, fulfill their sense gratification better, they will go and serve those. That's how the demigod worship starts. Demigod worship starts only when the sense gratification is promoted. They romanticize the world. But we learn from this that attractiveness of such object need not be denied or rejected. We are not denying it. It needs to be seen as a pointer to all attractive Krishna. With this understanding, we practice Bhakti Yoga and focusing our mind on Krishna instead of some substitute. By our steady Bhakti practice, Krishna's supreme attractiveness becomes increasingly manifest to us, and we progress firmly towards ecstatic eternal absorption in Him. There is a beautiful verse. I'm thinking maybe 11th chapter or 12th chapter when we come. I'm going to elaborately explain you how the gradation of happiness from the sense gratification to the demigod's enjoyment to higher and higher, how glorified this bhakti is. And those who understand, acknowledge, and act on it, they will not fall for this. But until they understand this and experience some, it will be difficult to convince them. So what is the alternative? Suggestion is, make a nice prasadam, Prabhu. Make a super luxury prasadam. Invite them. Say, look, you go to restaurant or other places, but look at this food. And you say it's a karma-free diet, or you can reveal something, and they, once they love this prasadam, their consciousness will be purified, and they will start appreciating and seeing actually the supremacy of bhakti compared to all other process of sense gratification or whatever the idea they have. And that will help. That will help. Even Srila Prabhupada, when the scientists, they were arguing with Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. So Prabhupada said, call them here. And Prabhupada heard they are a little arguing about the, atomic structure. When they came inside Prabhupada's room, Prabhupada said, so please take some prasadam, the food, sanctified food offered to God, and then we can discuss. So they all took prasadam. After prasadam, Prabhupada said, do you have any question? They said, no. They all wonderful. Power of prasadam, power of little practice. Unless they do actually sincere practice and they regulate their life, difficult to convince them that there is a higher truth, unless they become eligible. And of course, if they are grossly, I don't know who you are preaching, if they are grossly attached, sometimes you can bring the example. For an example, that people can perceive the taste of water quench the thirst. But if you tell them, okay, you are quenching the thirst, but this is only a combination of 2 molecule hydrogen and 1 molecule oxygen. And they will probably agree because they went to school or something. But hydrogen and oxygen everywhere is available. When you are thirsty, why don't you just open your mouth and try to take the hydrogen and oxygen and quench your thirst? Why I'm bringing this example? Because the soul, even the greatest sense gratifier, deep down in their heart, they are lacking. And one way of lacking, that they are not completely satisfied. One way to prove it, you can literally ask them, sir, if you have everything in your life right now, if you are given a helicopter, an island, all your friends, all the food you want, everything, what will you do? They would say, well, we'll probably eat and then go out for a walk or play soccer. Why do you have to do anything? You have everything. Why do you have to do anything? This question actually Krishna asked to Muchukunda. Varan Vinita Raja se Sarvan Kaman Dadamite. Even if all the sense gratification is given to a person, why he has to do something? And you'll see, you'll get up, you'll say, I'm going for a walk. Why? I'll play tennis. Why? I'll watch a movie. Why? Because deep down in their heart, they are bored. Even they have a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, everybody is there. They still feel bored. They don't know where it's coming from. If they examine very thoughtfully, they will see there is something lacking, lonely feeling. They can be sitting next to parents, next to their wife, husband. They will still feel boring. People don't know where it is coming from. They take it as a natural. But those who are thoughtful, they will say, yeah, why do I have to do anything? Because I'm bored. Krishna says to Muchukunda, first thing happened in Bhakti, when you literally accept and surrender to me, I remove all your lamentation. Bhaya, moha, sukha, apaha. Bhaya, fear for future, sukha, lamentation for now, and moha, illusion for now, and lamentation for past. Fear for future, lamentation for past, and illusion for now disappear. So if somebody really challenge that I only want more sense gratification, I don't need. I'll say, sir, you still have to die. You will be disappointed. And even if you are given all the sense gratification, why do you have to do anything? Because you are bored, you are lonely. You cannot trace this lacking within you until you come to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the highest enjoyable life ever existed or will exist. So you can apply, it depends how close you are to that person and go with that. And I'll demonstrate this more when we come to 11th chapter, maybe 12th chapter. Is that okay, Nirguna Prabhu?
Yes.
Thank you. Any reflection from mothers or Prabhus?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ram Sam Prabhu, yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, it was really nice class today, Prabhuji. It was like, so much of things you covered, like for the pure bhakti, 934, as we went through, Man Manava Madhvakta Madhyaji Man Maskuru Mam Yasi Satyante Yukta Namat Parayana. So, lots of things he told, like to remember Krishna. I liked very much these three parts, like remember Krishna by body, mind, and soul. So as you stressed on that, so and same time, remembering Krishna is not function of memory, but it's the inclination towards Krishna. So
very good.
Yeah,
inclination. So, very good.
And
Thank
even though something left over, so enakena prakara, you told very well, like that's a whatever the way, whatever the means, we have to remember whether we want, not want, fruitive, not fruitive, this, that, whatever, we have to remember. Whatever you think, enakena prakara, this very well suits Prabhuji. So we have to find how to remember.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mother Rebhuti Devi Dasi.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the wonderful class. I like the example that you gave of an African devotee, like how his life was before he was a devotee, and there was a custom that they had to eat the flesh.
India +9
Krishna.
Yeah. So the main point here I want to say is, like, in devotional service, Krishna doesn't look at your past things. Like wherever you are, whatever you are doing, we can start from there. So no prerequisite required. That's the thing. Only thing is we have.
Very good. Very nice key point. It doesn't matter where you come from. You start and where are you heading. Very good. Very good point. Thank you, Mata. Mother Nikunji Lila Devidasi, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for today's wonderful class. There are so many points as Revati Mataji said and Ram Sham Prabhu said. And along with that, I want to add one more point which I like very much is in devotion, we don't just make the offering, we offer ourselves. So that
Yes.
point I like very much. So we have to offer ourselves with the mind, with the body, with the soul, and in all the aspects of whatever we are doing, we have to include Krishna in each and every aspect in our life. So thank
Very
you,
nice.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mata. Any other reflection?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, then would pronounce. I would
Hare
like to
Krishna,
share.
Sojanna Mother.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're
Prabhuji?
audible.
Yes, Prabhuji. So it's such an assurance. It's such an assurance that Krishna is saying, whatever you were, whatever you're doing, everybody has a chance. So nobody needs to feel, oh my God, I did so many bad activities. That's okay. But still, he's saying, now you've come, you don't have to worry about the past. So that's such a great assurance, so that nobody need to get depressed and I'm done, my life is done. And the second thing is the Ananya, the where you said whatever it is, because we may do bad karma in spite of we fall down or like Sudurachara, but still he's saying, I won't leave you if you don't leave me, like that, literally, like that's it. And I'm only in devotee's heart. So it's like double the assurance. This is to strengthen our faith and no fear.
That's nice.
That's the thing, Prabhuji. And then one small question, Prabhuji. I don't know why I was really attentively listening that part, but still I couldn't catch when you were answering Sanjeev Prabhu's question, where when some people, they're faced with the very hard things in their life, and then they'll go a little against Krishna because it's such, unbearable pain in their life. And even I have come across a devotee in my life who's even now he says, no, what Krishna did for me, I cannot agree. So I cannot pray. I'm like, I feel so sad for them. But then I was trying to see what you will say. I felt, I'm not saying that it went all over the place, but I couldn't get the point. Like, if you can tell me briefly, like in 2 sentences, what should we do? How should we think, or how should we tell them, or how should we take it if like such things happen? Like it does happen for our karma, whatever we are here. But I didn't get the main point, Prabhuji, what you were trying to say.
I'm also thinking how to make it a main point. This is a very important subject at the same time. It's not our main subject, but it is important. See, whenever we want to develop faith in Krishna or we question his existence, we need to understand Krishna and how he works. Krishna created the system in this world for our protection and our sustenance. Usually he offers his care and attention to us through those systems that he created. But of course, as you mentioned, I also heard, it's not that I didn't hear, I heard also. It's heartbreaking to hear when you see some abuse or some improper activities happen amongst or in the society or in the mission or whatever situation. We all need to recognize that Krishna has given everyone free will. But unfortunately, people can misuse their free will. Humans misuse their free will, and humans also create system to protect others from such misuse and victimization. Like in America, we have You know, we have 911, all kinds of stuff, child foster care, all these things. So I think I mentioned also yesterday, if thugs beat up someone on the street, then it is for other people to stop the thug, isn't? Or the person being victimized needs to run or call for emergency. Do whatever is required to protect yourself. You cannot just blame the society for it. We have our individual capacity. Of course, some cases you may say, well, their children or whatever, that the circumstance was not. Or you can say they have a little intelligence or strength to protect themselves. But then they're supposed to have a guardian. Prabhupada made a system where there is a senior devotee is supposed to be available and protective. If somebody is abused, then it is important that the child be alerted and trained by the parents to report that abuse. But unfortunately, we live in a society where perverted individuals or those who are psychopath, sociopath, sometimes they are attracted to spiritual life easily. It's a fact. I heard from this psychologist told me, we had a long talk. Why? Because they prey, psychopath prey upon weak and helpless. People in close family or extended family whom we would normally trust turn out to be the ones who betray our trust and commit horrendous abuses. So therefore, believe in God, believe in Krishna or expectation from God that he should act as a replacement for the breakdown of human system of protection or rectification is an unrealistic expectation. When things go wrong at human level, then things need to be rectified at human levels. A child praying to God, Krishna, who in pain is good, that person is praying to Krishna. But the child also need to go to the doctor. I mentioned that. It's very funny. In our class, one time I remember we had a discussion. It says, so if I cut my finger, should we just start praying to Krishna? Yes, and not enough. And that's why I mentioned that yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I forgot. That Mother Joshoda or other Brajavashi, how they handle.
Today
when
you
they come to
mentioned
this
that.
material world. Yes?
Today only you mentioned that, Prabhu.
Or today? That yes. Mother Joshoda actually makes Krishna comfortable. She massages his body. Don't worry, you will be okay. But inside her heart, she's not feeling comfortable because Krishna is becoming heavy. She's thinking ghost hunted. So she's praying to Narayan. She's making the child comfortable, praying to God, at the same time calling out Brahmanas to do some beneficial jagna. So just praying to God or blaming God, that's not enough. We have to do things also in a practical level. So my finger got cut, I should chant Hare Krishna, that's true. I also should go to doctor to get band-aid or whatever, require, I don't know, the stitches or whatever. It's not that Krishna should come down to give me stitches or whatever is required. So human level, Krishna already made this system, and we should also remember Krishna, also take advantage of this. It has to be seen that way. Abuse is not like shame or sickness. it involves element of shame, horror, trauma, because someone may feel, he did something to agitate the other person or attract the abuse or unwittingly think. Of course, each case is a difference. Unfortunately, abuse is widespread in today's society. It is important for leaders, parents to educate the dependents about what comprises abuse, to make them feel safe in reporting anything that they may feel as abuse. So this culture of alerting people needs to be created in schools, society, families. Otherwise, some people may suffer in silence. It can leave lifelong scars on them. Now you mentioned, they may express against Krishna's role. Generally, they may say, what is Krishna's role? Is it that when the human system fails, then we may turn towards God and expect God to intervene? Well, Krishna also intervenes often through a human agent. In exceptional situation, Krishna may intervene by supernatural. Paranormal means by personal manifestation. But often Krishna sends help through a human agent. Even Prabhupada, he is such a Mahabhagavat. He didn't have a place to stay. He was staying with David for 3 days in early days. Mukunda Maharaj explains this. And David, he has some some problem. Middle of the night, you probably heard that story. He took the kitchen knife and going around Prabhupada, he said he can kill. Literally. Of course, Prabhupada was a Mahabhagavat and he exhibited that, but he maintained his compassion. So, of course, everybody, we don't expect to act that way. On third time when he was going around Prabhupada in a small apartment, then Prabhupada said, just put it down, chant Hare Krishna. Something happened to his brain that he jumped off through the window and ran. Oh, this is his apartment. Why did he run out? I don't know. The story goes on. So my point is that, say another example. A man was drowning. He prayed to God for help. You heard that story. A fisherman riding on a boat asked this man to enter his boat, but he rejected his proposal saying, God will help me. So God is helping this man, responding his prayer by sending this rescue boat. Hence, if there has been abuse, it is definitely unfortunate, heartbreaking. But the one who has been abused needs to take the initiative to seek protection and to counter that abuse. Whoever helps him in countering that abuse, they should see them as agents of Krishna's grace. That teaching should be there. Because we have a CPO office here, in Alachua. And I mentioned that when a child, when a person got hurt or something, but they should not see that CPO is like another person separate from Krishna. It is Krishna's agent. Krishna is never withdrawn his protection. So it depends on individual case. You have to see where that person and treat that person according to you. Not that we support everything what's going on, but we have to be also responsible.
It was a accidental death, Prabhuji, so he was very upset. But
oh, I see.
As we know, death is
unavoidable for everybody.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
But you know,
anybody
we all can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for that departed soul, and that departed soul will get tremendous benefit, not knowing that somebody is doing that for him. So we should be always grateful to Krishna, always grateful. It's only good benefit. Never ever not to be grateful. That mood should be out. Thank you, Mother.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we can end here. Anybody else? Anybody I didn't give opportunity to speak or something? Otherwise, we can close. Everybody is happy. They're probably tired. Thank you. So please accept my humble obeisances. We'll end here. Bancha kalpa taruvesya kripa sindhavaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Nantaguri Vaishnavrinda ki Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'll see you all tomorrow, same place.